Whether you are new to minimalism or have been simplifying your life for years, there are some fundamental practices that every minimalist should do. In this video, I will share 12 important things that will help you stay on track, avoid big mistakes, and keep minimalism meaningful, plus a couple of new ideas I wish I would have known earlier. The first one is to use minimalism as a tool, not the goal. Minimalism as a lifestyle isn't actually about owning the least amount of stuff or creating a Pinterest perfect home. It's about setting intentional practices, systems, and boundaries to create a life and home that aligns with what matters most to you. So the trap to avoid is replacing clutter with aesthetic clutter. A home filled with beige furniture, perfectly organized shelves, and carefully curated decorations might seem like the ultimate minimalist goal, but if it doesn't feel peaceful or functional, it's just another version of excess. And while there's nothing wrong with being inspired by others and having a beautiful aesthetic home, minimalism is ultimately about what works for you personally. And all these fancy things and aesthetics should just be a byproduct of that way of thinking. The second one is to build a solid foundation. So take some time to reflect on the deeper reasons that make minimalism appealing to you. Maybe it's the desire for a clutter-free home, but ask yourself, what is beneath that? Often wanting a clean, tidy space is tied to something bigger, like a need for a peace of mind or a more manageable daily life. A good starting point is to identify at least 3 reasons you want to become or stay a minimalist, in my opinion. Because one reason alone isn't enough. Because if that single reason doesn't come through right away, you might feel discouraged and give up. For example, 3 reasons I have are peace of mind, reducing my ecological footprint, and then improving my finances. Even if one of these isn't going as planned, the others still keep me grounded. So if, for example, I have a tough emotional month and minimalism doesn't magically fix my stress, I can still appreciate the financial and environmental benefits. The third one is to start measuring value based on your needs. I hope I will do a good job explaining this in a clear way. So when it comes to deciding what's worth keeping, buying, or letting go, it's very important to focus on the value and contribution that item brings to you, not just what it's the price tag of that thing or what it cost you. So does it support your happiness, make your life easier, or help you achieve your goals? If not, its value might not be as high as you thought. This really struck me the other day as I was thinking about how we measure the value of a house, property, or a piece of land. Sure, there are standard factors like the location and condition that play a role, but I realized that the value is ultimately very personal. A location that might feel like a dream to one person could be a complete nightmare to someone else. It all comes down to individual perspective and priorities. For somebody, living next to a busy road is the dream, but for somebody, it's the last thing that they want. So start to see items for their personal value rather than how the market values them. Let's take the example of a TV. Maybe a new TV, the price originally would have been like $1,000, but it is now on sale for $400. If you already have a TV and don't need another one, it doesn't matter how great the deal is. It has no real value for you. So its personal value is 0, even though the market values it as completely something different. 4. Define what enough means for you. Figuring out what enough looks like for you is one of the most personal and important steps in minimalism. It's not about what society says you need or what someone else finds enough. It's about understanding your own needs, values, and lifestyle. A useful exercise is to break this enough into different levels. What's the bare minimum you need to survive? What do you need to feel okay? What makes you thrive? And at what point does having more feel like too much, where the returns are negative? Let's take something like simple t-shirts as an example. A non-minimalist approach might look like this. The survive level is 7 shirts, 1 for each day of the week. Feel okay, 12 shirts, Thrive, 20 shirts so that you have some variety and different styles. And too much, maybe 35 shirts, because at this point the storage and decision making are becoming a hassle. For a minimalist, or let's say in this case me, because this is again personal, it might look something like this. Survive, 2 shirts, 1 to wear, 1 to wash. Feel okay, 4 shirts. Thrive, 8 shirts. There's enough variety and it's still quite simple to choose. And too much, maybe more than 12. So if I own 23 t-shirts and find 12 to be too much, it is quite clear what I need to do. And you can apply this same framework to other possessions, your income, or even your time commitments. But I have to say that it isn't always so easy to pinpoint like the exact amount. So see this as an exercise and start experimenting. So for example, try living with less for a period of time and then see how it feels. Because right now it is just an idea that, okay, that is enough, but you don't really know until you have actually tried it. 5. Reflect on which items matter and why. What are the things in your home that make you feel genuinely happy? Maybe it's a cozy blanket you use every evening, or a favorite mug for your morning coffee, like this for example, or some photo collection that brings back warm memories. Taking the time to reflect on which items truly matter to you gives you clarity about your relationship with your own possessions. And this awareness can help you make way more intentional decisions about what to keep and then what to let go of. So think about what makes your space feel nurturing to you. Is it the coziness, the functionality, or sense of openness? Do you prioritize aesthetics or function when choosing what to surround yourself with? What items don't you value much but still use every day? Do you like collecting something? Would you be proud to show that collection to visitors? If not, why? I think these are very good questions to ask yourself to uncover the emotional or practical connections you have with your things. 6. Be mindful of the influence others have on you. Take a moment to think about the people in your life. Who do you spend the most time with? Are they similar to you in their values, or do they have a completely different approach to material things or even life? This doesn't mean you have to cut people off if they don't share your minimalist mindset, but it is helpful to be aware of how their habits and attitudes might influence your choices. For example, do you have friends who encourage shopping as a social activity or always seem to be upgrading to the latest trend? Pay attention to how their spending or collecting habits affect your own habits, because these things can shape how you view your own possessions or lead to choices that don't fully align with your values. And on the flip side, think about who supports or inspires your minimalist journey. The point of this exercise, or why we are thinking of all this, is to know whose habits, advice, and opinions to trust when it comes to simplifying your life. Not everyone's perspectives will align with your values, and that is completely okay. You don't have to adopt someone else's mindset to be or to stay connected with them. They can support you in so many other ways. Like, not all my friends and family are minimalists, obviously not, but being aware of these dynamics will help you stay grounded in your own values. 7. Unfollow and unsubscribe. Digital clutter is one of those things that it might not take up physical space, but it can weigh just as heavily on your mind. All those emails, social media accounts, or notifications can distract you from your priorities and therefore add stress to your day. So start by taking a closer look at your social media. Are there accounts you scroll past without caring at all, or ones that leave you feeling uninspired or overwhelmed? Just unfollow them. I think you should feel motivated, educated, or uplifted when you log in, not pressured to keep up with trends or buy more stuff. That is one of the reasons why I use only YouTube these days and I have quit everything else. I know YouTube suggests also some channels you haven't subscribed to and maybe you have never seen, but if you come across something that doesn't support your journey, doesn't give you these feelings, you can always click the 3 dots and select Don't recommend this channel. 8. Learn to say no without guilt. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values, you are essentially giving away your time and energy. But even if you know this, it's not always easy to say no, because that often comes with feelings of guilt or the fear of disappointing someone. So to ease that discomfort, start by understanding that you simply cannot do everything. Saying no isn't even about rejecting others, like it's not necessarily about them, it's about protecting your time and energy. When you are clear on your values and goals, it becomes much easier to make these decisions about what deserves your time and what doesn't. So ask yourself, am I agreeing to this because I genuinely want to, or because I feel obligated? When the time comes to say no, I suggest to keep it simple and kind. For example, you could say, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I don't have the capacity right now." Or, "I really appreciate the offer, but I'll have to pass this time." I don't think there's always need to over-explain or always having to justify your decisions. 9. Add positive habits that support your journey. Minimalism isn't just about letting go of what no longer serves you. It's also about filling that empty space that was created by decluttering and letting go with positive things that make your life feel fulfilling. To start, reflect back on your why and goals with minimalism. What are you after? And then think about habits that can help bring you closer to them. For example, for me, peace of mind is a big one. Therefore, I have started habits that support my mental well-being, like daily morning walks and meditation. And another resource that has been a game changer for me in creating peace of mind is Aura Health, which I have used for almost 2 years now. They offer thousands of guided meditations, therapy content, life coaching, and so much more from mental health experts to help you feel more peaceful in your daily life. This video is not sponsored by Aura, but every free trial supports this channel financially, so if you think you could benefit from something like this, I have included link in the description so you can try it for free. And if you decide to continue after that, you will also get a 25% discount. 10. Step back and take breaks. Minimalism isn't a race. It's a journey that will have its highs and its lows, and that is completely normal. Sometimes you'll make big progress decluttering and simplifying your life with ease, and other times you will plateau or shift your focus elsewhere. The progress doesn't have to be linear, and I think it actually rarely is linear. Life is busy, and sometimes you might focus on minimalism for a month and then spend 2 months on something entirely different. I think just the key is to remain intentional with your purchases and avoid filling your home all the time with new things. You can always return to minimalism, return to this when you are ready, and you won't have to start then from scratch when you kind of just maintain it. Sometimes I feel weird talking about minimalism here on YouTube and all these things when I'm kind of having an off month myself where I'm focusing on something else, and I have kept a few extra things here, and I know that soon I will have to declutter, but I think that that is just part of the process. We cannot always have everything optimized like to our minimalist standards like 100% of the time. So I think minimalism is a mindset and a philosophy, not like a job or some rigid project with a finish line. 11. Check in on your minimalist journey often. If you find yourself feeling stuck or tempted to quit, don't jump to the conclusion that minimalism just isn't for you. Often it's not the concept of minimalism, but the problem is the approach that you are taking. Maybe the method that you are using doesn't quite fit your current lifestyle or personality. For example, if tackling an entire room at once feels very overwhelming, try focusing on one small area, like a single shelf or drawer or some other area of your life and not even your home. Another thing to consider if you are feeling overwhelmed is whether you have overcomplicated the process of simplifying, which is kind of ironic. Minimalism is meant to make your life simpler, not harder. So if you are spending hours agonizing over every item or feeling pressure to get rid of everything immediately, it might be time to scale back. 12. Declutter the stuff that no longer serves you. If you're not sure where to begin this, a great way to kick things off is by starting with the easy stuff, like expired products and broken items or duplicate things you no longer use, like stuff that are clearly kind of trash. But decluttering effectively is actually about more than just tossing out a few things. It's a thoughtful process that requires reflection and intention. There's so much more that goes into it. And since I cannot dive deep into every aspect of this in this video anymore, here's a video where I actually share 10 habits for a simplified home that you can check out next. If you're interested in Aura, remember the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one. Ciao.